first of all, Ruchi, congratulations for Mukesh Jasoos. Honestly, I haven't watched the show
Thank
yet.
you so much.
I watched the trailer. I loved your role as a social media influencer. So, please tell me, how did you come on board?
So you firstly gotta go and watch it now. Now that you've
Yeah,
mentioned you haven't seen it, you'll have to watch it today.
yeah.
So, honestly, this was one of the auditions which I actually, when an actor is giving so many auditions and then you kind of get used to it, it's as easy as like, it's like eating, you're giving auditions like that and you just move on with it.
Yeah.
So, because there was this whole lockdown, and I don't think anybody is auditioning from their studios and offices anymore now,
Yeah.
unless and until it's like absolute necessary.
Yeah.
So, they asked for my audition and I recorded like this only. I was at home and I recorded it, and
Mhm.
Hina, the director, she sent me the script, and she just asked me to like sort of improv, and she just wanted me to improv the social media character however I wanted to do it,
Yeah.
rather than sticking to the lines. And I
Yeah.
just played around a couple of times. I sent her two auditions, and cut to I go back to my parents and I visit, and then I never heard from them. And I thought probably it's one of those auditions where you just give it
Okay.
and you forget about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, out of nowhere, then I was at home and I got a call from Abhishek, the producer, the executive EP, and he said, "Come to the office and give the audition." So I was like, "Okay, cool." And I came back, and then I went to their office and I gave the audition. We kind of sort of
Yeah.
improved and everything, and within I think a week they finalized me for it. Like it was the most unexpected one, but
Okay.
I sort of got through. And then much later, in fact, day before me and Hina were talking, where they said that almost like they auditioned like a 1,500, 2,000 people for this because,
Hey, is it?
there's like, yeah, and out of which they thought that I would be something they would want to go ahead with.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. I mean, there was a tough
Yes.
competition then.
Yeah, that's what they mentioned, that there was a really tough competition, and between channels and producers and directors, and everybody have their own. Yeah, like writers want their own particular people. Like everybody has a different vision when it comes to writing, directing, or producing, right? So, but
Yeah.
overall, then they decided on me, and yay, I got through.
So, how was your experience shooting, and how was it working?
Oh my God. I am not bragging, but and I don't want to be biased towards this one, but this has been by far the best set that I've been on. Like
Okay.
I have never had so much fun. The cast was amazing. The entire co-actors, all bunch of people that I was shooting with was like so supportive and like so down to earth that they would never make you feel like being odd on the set. And we, because it was a comedy show, everybody never got out of the characters. So like we would just improv on the set even when we're not shooting, right?
Yeah.
So the moment we'd enter, I would enter as like not as Ruchi, and that went around with each of the character.
Yeah.
And be it Hina or anybody, they were like all so supportive that I used to wake up early to just go to the set. And one of the off days when I used to get in between, like to rest it out, I used to get anxious because I was like, no, 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 I want to go, I want to go. Like just so much fun there.
So, Ruchi, you have been around here since a long time in industry. So, what has been your biggest takeaway?
Yes, I've been here for quite a while, and
Yeah.
it's been quite a journey. But honestly, I've really loved the journey. Like I have had downfalls and I've had up days where it's been horrible and days which has been nice. But what I have really learned is that you have to go through the process. Like there is no shortcut to this. There is no like if you know a certain someone, you'd get it. If you know this, you get. There are no shortcuts to this. You'll
Yeah.
have to burn through the process. You'd have to give a zillion auditions to be able to be in that spot one day, one right time. And I feel when you least expect it is when you get everything. And generally in life
Yeah.
also, I think when you
That
least expect is
happens.
when you get things.
Yeah.
But after going through so many auditions, I feel I would want to say this to everybody who's starting out like me in the industry with like
Mhm.
just to hang on. Like you can't give up. Like you have to have faith in it. Even if you're giving auditions like 10 auditions a day, give it. Like I mean it's your job. You're gonna love it anyway, right? Like I enjoy giving so many auditions throughout the day. I'm sure every other actor out there would
Yeah.
love to. But I have realized that you have to have that faith. You have to be persistent. You have to have that discipline. And there are people out there in the industry who are ready to help you as well. Like it's not a savage industry, as people say. Like
True.
you got to believe in yourself when you're doing something which is so out of the box.
That's true.
So yeah, I mean, just have faith and it all falls into place, I feel.
You're very right. And I think it's not just about being in this industry. I think in everything that we do, we sometimes feel like, things are not working out. But if we just hang in there, so maybe
Yeah.
things will work out. It is meant to
And
be.
this it's meant to be. And if it's meant to be, like certain roles which I didn't get through, uh I used to always be like, but I gave such a nice auditions, I wish I could have done this, I wish I could have done this. And probably at the same time I would have something else, and I'm like, okay, that didn't work because this was supposed to happen. Like,
Yeah.
and to certain, and for Jasoos, we had the entire lockdown, and then it opened up and we started shooting. And when you're least expecting, but you're putting yourself out there and you're putting your best efforts, and it happened before the second lockdown happened. So I'm like, if it has to happen, it will happen no matter what.
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
what are the kind of challenges you face now?
uh See, the last entire year went into COVID, so I think each one of us are having our own troubles. But
Yeah.
uh if you particularly, if you're talking about this
Yeah. About,
time,
like
uh,
bagging a new project or choosing a script.
it's nice. There's just so much content right now out there because of OTT and everything, that definitely a lot of opportunities are coming into it. But uh, because it's a pool of vast opportunities, there's a lot of content that you would not want to be associated with. So
Yeah.
sometimes when you're getting work, you don't know whether it's right for you or it's wrong for you. You might be interested in it, but at the same time, you're like, I don't know how it's going to turn out to be, all that.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a very thin line, and you have to progress in a right direction, because ultimately it all becomes about branding. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, then you have to use your conscience and whatever little that you've learned so far to decide what role is good for you, what not. But having said that, I don't go around saying no to everything because I think I'm too good for everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, some things you might not want to be associated with, and few things which really have the potential you want to go out with.
True.
So, and with the whole COVID thing, I'm hating the idea of self testing at home. Just like I,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because when you go out like that, it's a whole process of like going to the studio. Even though if the casting person is still there, you take a certain time to get into the zone and
Yeah.
just like audition, and it's a different feeling when you go there, and a lot more time to prepare yourself. But when you're sitting at home and then you have like you're in your own environment, it takes a lot more time to convert this environment to the character's environment,
Yeah.
and to like self audition where you're giving the cues to yourself and then also reacting to yourself and then also thinking about light and how you're looking.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just getting a hang of that now.
Hmm. How challenging has it for you being an outsider to have consistent work?
I wouldn't say it's easy. It is. It's not difficult either, but it's a lengthy process. Like
Yeah.
it takes a while. Like I'm not saying that you won't get it. Like I never thought for once that because I'm an outsider, I would not, uh, be able to do what insiders would do it.
Hmm.
But having said that, of course, it's a lot of hard work than usual. It's a lot of running around, a lot of meetings. And even though when you put in so much work, not necessarily it's a sure way that you're going to land the project, right?
Yeah.
But I think if, like I said earlier, if you're consistent and I feel if you really have the craft and the skill and you work on it, there are
Yeah.
people out there who will recognize your talent and who will one day would want to cast you, not because you come from a certain background or you don't come from a certain background, is because when they put you in front of the camera, you will be able to do justice to their story as a character.
True.
So I think being an insider or outsider wouldn't really matter. It'd be easier, I would say,
Hmm.
but ultimately, it all depends on the talent, I feel. And I mean, I think it's worth the wait. Like now, whatever I've waited for so long, it just feels nice because I've waited and finally I am getting what I want purely on talent or my skill or craft, whatever you want to say that.
Mm-hmm. So, are you happy how things are shaping up for you in the industry?
I am very happy.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I'm getting to do roles which are different, which are nice. Like which requires me to work back and learn a lot and research a lot and do things. So, and I've always wanted to do something like that where I sit with a character and study and do things and
Yeah.
work on my skills. So, and I'm landing onto those projects, and like this one is also so unusual from what I am as a person. Like it's completely opposite of what I am individually, so a lot more goes into preparing that character. So I think I'm just absolutely loving it.
How do you take care of your mental health? Because, creative people often feel overwhelmed with work and things like that. So, how are you taking care of your mental health?
It's difficult. Like a lot of people out there, even I am by myself. And, when you're alone and stuck alone with your own thoughts and everything, it gets a bit tedious over a time because, you're just surrounded by your own thoughts.
Yeah.
But the idea is to not drag into that feeling. I believe I've realized the moment I start to feel a little anxious about anything or a little
Mm.
negative feeling, I want to draw that attention into my craft. Like acting means the world to me.
Yeah.
So so I want to channel that, whether it be watching any acting videos or reading an acting book or be anything which is associated with the larger purpose of my life. I want to
Yeah.
immediately do that. I know, and it's easier said than done because it takes a lot when you're sinking into
Yeah.
a certain thought, and to pull out from there and invest into something else, which again requires a lot from you. But the
Yeah.
idea is to keep distracting. Like I don't want to even 1 second be in that phase.
Hmm.
And I've realized, rather than dwelling into those thoughts, I would rather utilize the time to work and polish my skill, because things are going to get better. Hopefully everything will go back to normal and we will be able to live the way we were living one day. And when that happens, I want to be ready for that rather than being sinking into what's happening at the moment. Like last year also, I want to be in touch with a lot of people, so that if anybody is going through something like this, they should be able to talk about it.
Hmm.
And the biggest thing is, with mental health issues, people don't come forth and talk about it
They
because of
don't
whatever
reach
they are
out.
going through. I
Yeah.
feel you, as their loved ones, you have to be there no matter what, and just make sure. And the slightest hint, if you think that they're going through something, then I think it's your responsibility that you should just be able to help that person out.
This is a very good point, you have put forward key. When we tend to feel down, if we can take all that energy and put into something we like, channeling that. So I think that somewhere heals us.
It does, because yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's very difficult because when you're sinking,
Easier
you're
said
just
than
sinking.
done. Yeah,
But
true.
it's this struggle with which you come up and you're like, no, but I can't do this because I have decided to do this with my life. Like
Yeah.
today, I would choose acting over anything on this planet. So I can't fall into this because I have to achieve that, and that's my dream. So how can I do this?
So what are the upcoming projects you're working on?
There is a web show. I can't talk much about it. There's also a film and another web show that I auditioned for, and it was, if things go normally, and if we go back to not being in the lockdown, and if it goes back to normal, we might start shooting in July, actually, post July.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there are a couple of web shows and a film that I am in talks with. But let's see if things
Let's see,
go
because
back to the
I
usual.
really want to see you more on screen, and I'm
Thank you.
definitely sure you're going to be here. You're going to stay here.
Oh, thank you.